Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hang Out with Heather. I'm your host, Heather, as I'm sure you could assume. And today I'm going to be talking about college, shocker, and what happens when you don't get into the college that you want to. And I do speak from experience. I applied to 6 colleges total. I only got into one, which, whatever, that's one I kind of wanted to go to anyways, but it was still devastating. So basically, what had happened was I found one college that I loved. It was Hamilton College, right in Clinton, New York. So a couple hours away from where I am now. And I visited, I loved it, and I applied early decision, which, if you don't know what early decision is, that means that you apply earlier than most people do. And if you get in based on early decision, that's where you have to go. You can't go anywhere else. It's where you have to go. And so I applied, and I didn't get in. And when I tell you I was devastated, I was devastated. I cried and I cried, but obviously it just wasn't meant to be. It was kind of more of a fancy school anyways. It was like an honorary Ivy League, kind of. And so I guess I probably wouldn't fit in there anyways, because I am not a nice rich person. You know how rich people can be sometimes, and I just probably wouldn't fit into that crowd anyways. So perhaps it was for the best that I didn't get in, but that does not mean that it didn't hurt, because it did a lot. Because I thought that I had a perfect chance of getting in, based on the people that I saw on campus while I was there. I was like, these people are stupid, and I have to get in, which is kind of mean. But our tour guide, I did not like her. She was so repetitive and just stupid, I guess. Which is awful for me to say, but I was like, okay, if she can get in, then I can get in. And obviously, I didn't, which, whatever. So after that, I applied to 5 more colleges. I applied to RIT, which is where I'm going, U of R, Williams, Colgate. Where else did I apply? And one more that I can't remember right now. That's how much it did not matter to me. Because most of the ones, I wanted to go to RIT after I was rejected from Hamilton. I was like, okay, well, I know I can get into RIT, so that's where I'm going to apply. And other ones that I applied to are, again, more selective schools. So I was like, well, I'll apply to see if I get in or not. Obviously, I didn't. I was waitlisted for the U of R, and then a couple months later, I was told that they just didn't have space for me, which is whatever. I'd already committed to RIT at that point. So I know that some people, when they get rejected from the school of their dreams, they're heartbroken. And they feel like, what's the point of applying to any other school? This is where I want to go. If you got rejected, it's probably for a reason. Not for a reason academically or anything, but you just weren't meant to go there. And if you care that much, maybe you can do the first year or two at a different school and then try and transfer over, see if you can get in then. Because sometimes, just based on your high school transcript, they don't want you, but based on your performance in college, they might want you then. Which, who knows? Every college is different. But all these selective schools, it's not always worth going into them. Up north, we obviously have the Ivy Leagues like Yale and Princeton and Harvard, all that stuff. And these people that go to these schools, they have such a high standard for themselves that they can never relax. They're so tense. And they feel like they have to keep up this facade that, oh my god, I go to an Ivy League, I have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay. No one is perfect, especially at 17, 18 when you're applying to these schools. If you don't get in, you still have your entire life ahead of you. Obviously, college is important. That's undeniable, depending on what you major in. But there's always going to be the right college for you out there. And if that's community school, awesome. Or a community college, I meant. I didn't apply to any community colleges because I was like, not for me. I don't want to go there because I just didn't want to. But I'm sure that if I had applied to more SUNY schools, because I didn't apply to any, or community colleges, I would have gotten in there because my overall GPA was a 93. So definitely could have gotten in there. But these schools that have a 15% acceptance rate, it's between you and however many other people. and they're going to choose the best of the best, and even though you might be amazing, it may not be enough for them. And don't base your entire worth based on what some college admissions person says, because even though you got rejected, you're still awesome, obviously, and it shouldn't control your life from there. That's what I'm trying to say. Because after I got rejected from Hamilton and decided I was going to go to RIT and got accepted, I was like, okay, this is a school for me. I'd visited RIT since I was like in 7th grade, so I always knew that I liked the school, but I wasn't completely sure. But once I applied and was like, okay, well, yeah, this is where I want to go, and I'm in a small program or a small major, and there's not going to be many people, so it's like it'll allow me that one-on-one kind of teacher-student that I need, and it has a great master's program, which I want to go into, like a 5-year program. And I can just tell that it's going to be a lot better people than would have been at, Hamilton or any other fancy school that I applied to. Because I just would have been an outcast anyways. I mean, I don't come from a super high income family. I never have. Like, that's just not who I am. And all these people whose parents bought their way into schools or had the money to get those high-end tutors or have them do some high-end sport, I mean, we're just kind of different sides of the spectrum. So, I don't, yeah, obviously it's upsetting, and I'm still kind of upset over it that, like, oh, I'm so salty that I didn't get in Hamilton, because it was just so beautiful. But the school I'm going to this next month is also beautiful, and there's going to be way more people for me to talk to and make connections with, and I can say I'm very excited. So, yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can say about it, I suppose, but it's definitely important to know that just because you got rejected from a school doesn't mean that your life is over. Like, I'll give you an anecdote from my ex-boyfriend's sister, which is so stupid. But so she wanted to go to Cornell, and she applied early decision just like I did, and she was rejected, and she was heartbroken. But then she found a different school for her. She ended up going to Yale. She got rejected from Cornell, but got into Yale. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, Yale is obviously the better school. But she found that once she was rejected, she was able to find a school that was perfect for her. Like, who wouldn't want to go to Yale? Yeah, I just kind of talked crap about them earlier, but still, like, if I could go to an Ivy League, I would want to. You're gonna get the best of the best, like, education there. And for some people, money is a big factor. Like, I'm lucky that in New York, they really do help us a lot with financial needs. Like, if I had gone to a SUNY school, I would have been able to go for free pretty much with the Excelsior program, which I didn't. I'm sorry, Dad, I wanted to go to a different school. But it's just, when you're a junior and you're taking all these classes that you're going to need for college, and then once, the SAT and ACT, and then once you're a senior and actually applying to them, just know that you're 16, 17, 18 years old. You still have your entire life ahead of you. Like, one rejection is not going to be the end of your life or the end of your world. I know it may feel like it, and you may cry and cry and cry, but you'll find something out there for you that is going to be the perfect match. Even if it doesn't seem like it, like this school that you applied to might have been that perfect match for you. If you get into a different school that you're also happy with, you may find that that was a better option for you all along. It was kind of life nudging you in the right direction, like, no, don't go to this school's better for you. Because that age-old saying that everything happens for a reason. And when you're super upset, like, my dad told me that when I got rejected from Hamilton, like, oh, this is, it happened for a reason. I was like, shut up. I do not want to hear that right now. That does not help. But in reality, it is true. Like, even though you may not want to hear it because it's not the best thing, like, you're going to be upset. And some people are not good at comforting you when you're upset, which is just a fact. So, sorry, Dad, I'm kind of calling you out right now. Because, I don't know. But things do happen for a reason. And if you weren't meant to go to that school, then you weren't meant to go. That's just a fact. And like I said, you can always go in a couple years. And if that's what's meant to be, then it's what's meant to be. But if you go to that school and end up loving it, like the school that you did get into and decided on, you might go in there and love it. Like, I'm going to give another anecdote for someone that I don't really know that well. When I visited Brockport, which I hated, I'm sorry, it was awful. I did not like it. But I visited Brockport, and my tour guide said that he got into every school that he wanted to except his dream school, which was Geneseo, which I also didn't apply to Geneseo. I was just like, no, not for me. But he said that was his dream school, and he got rejected, and he was heartbroken. But he got into Brockport, and his friend convinced him to do his first semester at Brockport, and then his mom pulled some strings to get him into Geneseo, which is awful, but whatever. But in that first semester at Brockport, he ended up loving it and stayed there. So it's just, if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. You know? That's all I can say. And I do speak from experience, like I said. Like, getting rejected is not fun. Getting rejected from anything sucks. And that's a fact. But sometimes it's like, those will make you a better person and help you grow, whatever, all those sayings. But sometimes it is for the best. So, with that thought in mind, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please comment below what you think, and thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.